Mr. Chairman.
Just a minute.
Mr. Waltrip, a severance agreement and release claim was presented by a member of this council, and he made it in the form of a motion, so we are going to sit here and talk among us and eventually vote on this up or down, whichever way you see fit. So that is what I think should happen.
We're talking about big money here, Mr. Chairman, and we're going to vote and not allow the people of the county to know any of Mr. terms of spending a lot of money in this case.
With Mr. Waltrip, we have a Republican form of government, and people elect representatives, and it is the representatives' job to make the hard decisions. So that's what we're going to have to do.
Mr. Chairman, I just think this is a Saturday in the life of any republic when those elected officials would run roughshod over the procedures and the information that should be shared. I think that their tax money is having to pay for this, that they should have an opportunity, or at least we should have an opportunity to meet in executive session to discuss it. If we can't discuss it confidentially out here, I would amend this to move that we go to executive session and have some kind of regional discussion, since this is the first time, the very first time that I've seen this document.
Mr. Waltrip, it is my understanding that we have to do this in open forum. Am I right, Mr. Martin? This needs to be done in open forum.
Mr. Chairman, you may discuss in executive session. If any action is taken, that will have to be done in open session.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I've been trying to point out that this about $1.5 million appears to be a breach of the Freedom of Information Act. I think we need a legal opinion on this before it's voted on. This is a breach of the Freedom of Information.
Ms. Wilson, the council voted 5-2 to amend the agenda, and in that discussion that Mr. Wilson gave, he made a motion. So now we are dealing with the motion. And his motion is to present a severance agreement and release of claims, which he had to all council members, and I too am seeing this for the first time.
But Mr. Chairman, I think this council needs some legal counsel as to the legality of such a huge amount of money that's to be voted on according to Mr. Wilson tonight. If I read our own county code of ordinances, we were to have had a report made to us first. And then there are also rules regarding the Freedom of Information Act.
And that's
There are also rules involving what the state laws are and case law, indicating our individual and collective legal liability in such a matter as this.
Mr. Chairman.
Hold up. Ms. Wilson, any member of council may put anything he or she wishes on the agenda.
That's true.
Ms. Wilson, I'm talking. Please let me give my ruling. Any member of council may put anything he or she desires on the agenda. Mr. Wilson gave a proper motion to amend the agenda. It was voted on by council, and so the item is properly on the agenda. And then he moved forward and made a motion to present this severance package. So we are going to do this, okay? So let's move on.
I think we need some legal advice.
Okay, Ms. Wilson, tomorrow you can call anybody you want to, okay? But tonight we're going to deal with this.
Bless your heart.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, one other matter I'd like to say is because it seems like
Mr. Walker, I believe Mr. McAfee asked for the floor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I call for the question.
The chamber will please come to order. Mr. McAfee calls for the question. Is there a second? Second. Is there a second? All in favor of calling for the question, please vote. 5. All opposed? 2. Okay, we're calling for the question. We have a severance agreement and release of claims presented by Mr. Ron Wilson as a member of council, not as a member of a personnel committee. All in favor of this agreement, please vote. 5. Opposed? 2. The severance agreement and release of claims passes 5-2.
Mr. Chairman.
$1.5 million, that is absurd.
Mr. Chairman.
The chamber will please come to order.
For the third time.
Chief, anyone else speaks out, escort them out. I'm doing good to talk. Let's breathe and talk. Anyone else will be escorted out. Who called for it?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Greer.
In my conversations with Mr. Wilson, the sum is listed in the severance agreement, and it is not $1.5 million.
Well, then we never had a chance to get the.
Ms. Wilson, Mr. Greer has the floor.
I called our finance department and asked them to look at the general fund budget to see if there was an area in which they could locate this amount of money. This time I'm going to pass out to the council members this.
Does this mean you already saw this before we did?
This is a transfer of funds to an account to cover the contract buyout. Will be transferred from various accounts to account number 001-5831-0000-120 entitled contract buyout. And it has sources of funds and the total at the bottom. And at this time, I move the council approve this transfer.
Second.
I think we need to put it on the agenda.
Part of Mr. Wilson's time.
This part of your item, Mr.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
But it's already been vetted and shouldn't have a separate amendment.
Mr. Oh, excuse me. Hold on.
While we're in policy,
So this is basically giving information, telling us where the money is coming from, the amounts of the money coming from each account,
And the account is going to transfer.
and, yeah, okay, and it totals $1,140,122.
That's different than what's in the contract we just vetted on. And also.
Ms. Wilson, you don't have the floor.
I have lots of questions.
So this is a motion to accept.
Motion to approve this transfer.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. McAfee, you seconded. Now we're in discussion, and Ms. Wilson, now you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Tell me about this Department 5831. Is that an existing department, or is this something that was just created? I don't have my chart of accounts with me.
That's an account given to me by Mr. Chairman.
You may, Mr.
That account number was given to me by the finance staff, so if they're here, they can respond to it. If not, then it's being submitted.
So anyone,
Is it in our budget already?
Ms. Wilson, Chairman, if I may.
Is someone here from the finance department?
Ms. Wilson, you asked a question, I'm going to best answer.
But you just said that finance.
You'll let me talk.
Okay.
Ms. Wilson, you out of order, please let Mr. Greer talk, he has the floor.
The handout or the paperwork that I just gave you lists the various accounts. These accounts were looked at by the finance department, and they can locate those funds that can be transferred out of those departments. Most of them are vacant positions or new positions that have not been filled. And that's where the funds come from in the vast majority of the cases. I'm assuming that this account for the contract buyout is an account that was created for the contract buyout.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
there was a letter that was sent to our administrator to the media today requesting that we freeze hiring. So if that, our letter went out earlier when this came before us, this really puts us in a difficult position because if you're talking about new positions, I think that was over $500,000 that we were hoping to save the county in these dire economic times. And it would be a wise thing for us to freeze the hiring because we have many good and wonderful employees that we wanted to be able to keep in place and just simply not hire new people. You know, this comes right back to the lack of transparency, the lack of procedure in this county following our laws and our ordinances. I think that we should move to table this until we get answers from our finance department and from legal counsel. I think y'all are setting yourselves up individually even after you go off counsel for potential lawsuits.
Mr. Chairman,
She made a motion to table.
Second.
We have a second to table. No discussion of tabling. All in favor to table this item that Mr. Greer presented, please vote. Who oppose the tabling? 5.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Floyd?
Ms. Wilson made reference to asking the county to freeze employment. Did the council vote on that request?
Ms. Floyd, that was a letter signed by 2 members of council and 3 council members elect, so it really has no value here.
Okay, good.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. McAbee?
I call for the question.
Mr. McAbee calls for the question. All in favor of calling for the question?
Give me a second.
Will you second?
I second.
All right, thank you. All in favor of calling for the question, please vote. 5. Opposed? 2. All. Will you please restate your motion, Mr. Greer? I'm on breath.
My motion was to approve the transfers as asked out.
And it was seconded by Mr. Greer. Mr. McAdee. All in favor of approving these transfers, please vote. 5 opposed. 2. Motion to approve the transfers as listed as passed.
Employees, county employees, do any of you have a cough drop or a mint or something that we can share up here? We would appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Moving on. Ms. Floyd?
Do we go to reconsider?
Summer split, that's all.
Chairman,
Greer?
this time I will reconsider the motion to approve the transfer.
And the severance package?
All right, we have to do one.
Have to do one at a time. We have a motion to reconsider the that seconded?
Second.
Got a second to reconsider. We are now in reconsideration.
Mr. Chairman,
Wait, hold up.
point of information.
Hold up, I'm trying to find out what's going on here. So, Mr. Martin, we have a motion to reconsider and a second. We just vote and then you're back in discussion, is that right? Okay, we have a motion to reconsider and a second. Mr. Walter, what was your question?
My question is this a reconsideration of all transfers or some transfers?
It's the entire list of transfers that's on the pages that Mr. Greer handed out to make up the $1.14 million to add to this buyout.
Well, could I ask Mr. Greer the question on what the point is of going one way and then go the other?
Mr. Walter, we need to get the question on the floor first. So we need to get the reconsideration passed.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
All in
Just
favor?
want to fix that.
All in favor of reconsidering, please vote.
I have a question.
You don't have the floor, do you? All in favor of reconsideration, please vote. Three voting. 4, 5. Opposed to reconsidering? Mr. Wilson abstained. Who did vote? Who did I miss?
McAfee.
How do you vote?
I voted for reconsideration.
Oh, okay, 6, 0, and 1. Motion to reconsider has passed. Now we are back in discussion.
All right, Mr. Chairman, you have the floor, please.
Ms. Wilson.
All right, what is the value of the 2006 GMC Yukon? What is the value of benefit plans to be maintained and sponsored and so forth? I mean, remember, we haven't even had a chance to read this thing.
I want to order, Mr. Chairman.
What is the,
I want to order, Mr.
you're
Chairman.
interrupting, sir.
I'm raising a point of order which takes precedence over your service. Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Wilson, Mr. McAfee is correct. The point of order takes precedence and may interrupt the person who has the floor. Now, Mr. McAfee, what is your point of order?
This is not germane to the subject at hand. The subject at hand is the transfers.
Mr. McAfee, the point of order is correct. Ms. Wilson, we are talking only about the transfers. There is no denial or anything else on here that you mentioned. So,
But
Mr.
it doesn't
McAfee
seem
is
to
correct.
be reflecting the complete amount of money that would be owed to the administrator.
The subject under discussion is the transfers. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
I
McAfee.
call for question.
I second.
Mr. McAfee called for the question. Ms. Floyd seconds. All in favor of calling for the question, please vote. 5. Opposed? 2. The item has been reconsidered and it has passed. No. Put me on track, Mr. Martin.
The item is still on the board, but you just voted to call for the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now the question is to be voted on.
Now we vote on the question. Thank you. All in favor of transfers, please vote. We voted on transfers.
Oh, transfer, gotcha.
How you voting? 5. Opposed? 2. So now we're done with this. Mr. Martin?
Mr. Chairman. I move reconsideration of Mr. Wilson's original motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to reconsider the severance agreement and release claims by Mr. McAfee. We have a second by Ms. Floyd. All in favor of reconsidering buyout, please, let me see your hands again. 4, 5. Opposed?
Chairman, I'm going to abstain. I just can't figure out what in the world you're doing.
Okay, I'm
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
One moment, Mr. McAfee, I have a 5-0 and 1. Who didn't vote?
Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Wilson abstained. Okay, 2 abstains, okay.
You can add me to abstain, this is ridiculous.
Okay, we can have a majority, so that's okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. McAfee, we are now in discussion. Mr. Walker on the buyout. Mr. McAfee requested the floor.
I call for question.
Mr. McAfee.
Here on the point of order.
We have we call for the
I know, but I got a
My
point of order.
question.
Even Mr. McAfee said that trumps all that.
Okay, Mr. Walker, what's the point of order?
My point of order is, why can't we discuss anything? Why can't we, we're voting on things that we don't have any numbers to vote on. We're just, reconsidering matters and, Mr. Chairman, I don't think I've ever been witness to such a railroaded situation where the public interest is involved. And we're talking about a great deal of money here. And right now, I don't know specifically what kind of money we're talking about. How can we vote on something if we can't even articulate the amount that we're voting on?
Mr. Walker, I understand your question. However, Mr. McAfee had the floor, and he did make the motion to call for the question, and I am bound to follow Robert's rules. But do I have a second? Look, we have a second. All in favor of calling for the question, please vote. I need to count, sorry. 4, 4 against, 3, 4-3, it's still passed 4-3. We are in the all in favor of, I lost my train of thought, Mr. Martin. Where am I?
You're now voting all the original